Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Dragon Age Inquisition. We were building some watchtowers, I think, and that kind of stuff. I think I'm going to explore. Wasn't that the thought? That or something. I am going to be a little bit cheeky though and go back to Haven because our agents are ready to report in. So we're gonna check that. And yeah, I think that Colin was setting up the watchtower, so yes. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit I was gonna say talking weirdly, but I guess I burned my tongue a couple of days ago, so and it's still being a bit iffy. So I do weird shit with my tongue at the moment, so my talking is not very good. I'm so sorry about that. But hopefully it should be okay. I was a little bit too enthusiastic about my hot chocolate, I think. So yeah, my tongue suffered for that. Oh, is anyone's? I always have to check. Anyone have anything new to say?
Do you need something?
No. No.
That's enough for now.
Another time.
No. Colin? Got anything on your mind?
Did you need something?
I can actually straight out ask if you're with anyone. Wow.
Is there anything I should know?
Not at present.
What do you think of the people you work with?
Who do you mean?
I think we've asked him all of this already. Never mind though.
I should let you get back to work.
It's a bit weird that I can just ask him if his, thing. Which reminds me,
Travel safely.
I want my Ferelden Forder back. Thank you. Good boy. Well, the red heart was kind of cool, not for me. Maybe if I go for an elf at some point. But I think I said that last time as well. Apologies. My throat doesn't like it when I start talking. I don't do much of that apparently because my throat goes bananas every time I start recording and talking a lot. So brushing off the rust of my voice.
Heaven has been filled with silence.
I don't know
I
if
knew
a
then,
carrier don can get
and
you that
crossed
many
my
healing
heart
drafts, revered mother.
shame.
If he cannot, then he may simply tell me no.
Yes, revered mother.
And if he does wish to tell me,
Heaven has been
I
filled
would appreciate
with
him
silence.
doing so in
I knew
person.
then,
Yes.
and crossed my heart with shame.
Greetings, Herald of Andraste.
Do you know who the Grand Clerics will choose as the next Divine?
It is a difficult decision. All the obvious candidates perished with Divine Justinia at the Conclave. The Grand Clerics are terrified of the Inquisition. They will not decide soon, and I fear they will not decide wisely. Whoever is chosen needs the Inquisition's support. No one else seems likely to seal the breach.
Can you tell me how our people are doing?
What would you like to know?
How are the villagers in Haven doing?
They are terrified. Many of them came here because the war between the Mages and the Templars destroyed their homes. In their minds, the death of a Divine has destroyed any chance of peace. To that, add the breach. Farmers have fled their fields. If we do not restore order, half...
Do you have information?
The refugees in the hinterlands are desperate. Villagers in Crestwood are besieged by their own dead. People are vanishing in the hills of Emprise de Lyon. It may be demons or something worse, but they are terrified. More than that I cannot say. It is a chaotic time for all in Olay and Ferelden.
Farewell.
Make her go with you.
That was some new information about choosing the new divine and everything, though. So that's always interesting. Seems there was a new place that she was talking about as well, which I wasn't aware of. Right, we have 2 in Orlais. Virginia says, dropping grab. The papers we received from Sarah's friends documented Lord's sabotage of a rival's marriage. Quite the scandalous affair. Very useful implying our influences. Well, that's good. Investigate strange chalk markings. A spy's report. Posts set up along the Imperial Highway, ostensibly to guard trade routes and facilitate procuring supplies for the Inquisition. Eyes on all approaches. 4th night, a caravan carrying refugees makes camps nearby for protection. After midnight, a young woman on crutches makes small talk with patrol guards. After he passes, she crouches and makes the mark on a tent post. The woman pretends for half an hour to know nothing. When it becomes clear the ruse will not work, she kisses an Androstian locket and says, "Glory to those across the seas." She dies. The locket was poison. Interesting. Bob? Watchtowers! With the watchtowers built, we've had advance warning of demon and bandit attacks. The area is safer for both the refugees and the farmers who had fled the nearby fields. Much appreciated, sir. It's good to know that the Inquisition is willing to put in the time to help these people. Corporate Vale. Sweet. That's good. I'm not sure why that is still on the map, considering it's completed. So either if we want to side with the mages, we need to go to Handlands. If we want to side with those, I want to do. That's alright, because I can go there. But I don't get why this is still here, because I can't go there. This is something I need to do myself. So I'm not going to... Let's see. Rhythms discovered in the mountain passages is in search of the news before. I think this is something for Josephine to take on. Yes.
Let us begin.
Done that. We've done that. There's nothing here. Completed. 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 They're all completed, aren't they? Apparently I can go here. Oh right, or perhaps our soldiers can provide a better one. So I can go there if I want to. Oh, wrong one. So, I'm supposed to be able to pick up Vivienne somewhere, but I'm not entirely sure where, but I think I can reach that from the map rather than here. Right. Let us check the map. Woohoo! Oh, we need to talk to people in the hinterlands as well. Wait, what? What are you? It doesn't even say. What is this? Alfred! Meow! Why? Oh, many things. Many things. Okay, it doesn't seem like there's actually anything here, so way to waste my time. Let's go and talk to the farmers. Aqua, Solas, and Cassandra. Let's do it. Hey, boy.
Here!
Let's see. Ron is up here somewhere. I think he's in the hut to the right here. I believe.
Whoa!
Here we go.
If those refugees are going to defend themselves, they'll need real defenses. I've got a few ideas.
I've built watchtowers in the areas you recommended.
Nicely done. That'll give both your refugees and our farmers some warning next time trouble pays a visit. I'll speak to the master and have weapons sent to your people at the crossroads.
Yeah. Let's go. Oh. My pretty boy went poof. Let's talk to Dennet. Can we get your horses now?
Those watchtowers will keep my farmers and your refugees a lot safer. I've sent supplies to the crossroads. You've held up your end of our bargain, Inquisition. You'll have my whole stable and good hands to go with it.
Yay!
You sent your stable hands and your horses to the Inquisition. What about you?
Well, you've cleaned up the area, and I can't say I'm not tempted. Still, it feels wrong to abandon my land to go play horsemaster again.
You know, the Inquisition comes across horses from all over Thedas.
You don't say. All right, Inquisition. I'll look to your horses myself. Never let it be said that Redcliffe gave less than the best. Just let me settle matters here and say goodbye to my wife. I'll meet you at Haven.
Ta-da! Well, what do you know? Perfect. We need all the agents we can get. Is that the... Yes, that's the mage thing. That's the Riddlerian thing. Let's actually go... before we do anything else, let's go... Ghislaine. Let's go meet the Imperial Enchanter. Imperial Enchanter Monsignor. See what she wants. I do love these sort of tarot type cards. They look amazing. I am so the odd one out.
Lady Kadash of the Inquisition.
So I'm the Lady Kadash, eh? That's odd.
What a pleasure to meet you, my lady. Seeing the same faces at every event becomes so tiresome. So you must be a guest of Madame de Fer, or are you here for Duc Bastien?
Are you here on business? I have heard the most curious tales of you. I cannot imagine half of them are true.
What have you heard?
What have you heard about me?
Some say that when the veil opened, Andraste herself delivered you from the Fade.
Well, that's odd.
I'm not familiar with that name. I was invited here by First Enchanter Vivienne.
Madame de Fer is a fond nickname the court has given Lady Vivienne.
I've heard she finds it amusing.
I've heard very little about Duc Bastien.
He hasn't been seen much at court lately.
His business with the Council of Heralds often takes him from home for long periods. It can't be good for a man of his years.
And of course, there's the civil war. Bastien probably wishes to distance himself from the actions of his one-time son-in-law.
Tearing up the Dales in a foolish bid for power? It will end in disgrace for Gaspard. Everyone knows it.
Okay. So it seems that Orlais didn't really approve of Gaspar's little adventure. Well, what have you heard of me?
Some of those storytellers may have gotten carried away.
But only for the best effect. The Inquisition is a ripe subject for wild tales.
The Inquisition. What a lot of pig shit. Washed up sisters and crazed seekers. No one can take them seriously. Everyone knows it's just an excuse for a bunch of political outcasts to grab power.
Well, and your point is?
I've never made any claims to holiness. What's your point?
In front of all these people, you admit to being a pretentious usurper. We know what your Inquisition truly is. If you were a woman of honor, you'd step outside and answer the charges.
My dear Marquis, how unkind of you to use such language in my house to my guests. You know such rudeness is intolerable.
Madame Vivienne, I humbly beg your pardon.
You should. Whatever am I going to do with you, my dear? My lady, you're the wounded party in this unfortunate affair. What would you have me do with this foolish, foolish man?
Well, let him go. He's just...
I think the Marquis has seen the error of his ways.
By the grace of Andraste, you have your life, my dear. Do be more careful with it. I'm delighted you could attend this little gathering. I've so wanted to meet you. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Vivienne, first Enchanter of Montsimard and Enchantress to the Imperial Court.
Is that Marquis going to pose a problem?
His aunt is the Vicomtesse of Mont de Glace. Not a powerful family, but well respected. And very devout. Alphonse will be disowned for this. It's not the first time he's brought his aunt disgrace, but I'm sure it'll be the last. And after such a public humiliation, I expect he'll run off to the Dales to join the Empress's war effort. Either to make a good end, or to win back a modicum of self-respect.
Well, it's interesting so far.
Your salon has certainly exceeded my expectations so far.
I'm glad to keep you entertained, my dear. I wanted to meet face to face. It is important to consider one's connections carefully. With Divine Justinia dead, the Chantry's in shambles. Only the Inquisition might restore sanity and order to our frightened people. As the leader of the last loyal mages of Thedas, I feel it only right that I lend my assistance to your cause.
Wow. I can flirt with her already. Amazing.
You say you led the last of the loyal mages. Loyal to whom?
To the people of Thedas, of course. We have not forgotten the commandment, as some have, that magic exists to serve man. I support any effort to restore such order.
Well, I like that.
What exactly can you do for the Inquisition?
I am well versed in the politics of the Orlesian Empire. I know every member of the Imperial Court personally. I have all the resources remaining to the Circle at my disposal. And I'm a mage of no small talent. Will that do?
I would think so.
Does that mean you'd be aiding the Inquisition from the Imperial Palace?
Ordinarily, I would be happy to serve as liaison to the court, but these are not ordinary times. The veil has been ripped apart and there is a hole in the sky. It is now the duty of every mage to work towards sealing the breach. And so I would join the Inquisition on the field of battle.
Well, I approve of that.
Are you devout? What's your opinion of the Chantry?
I was a great admirer of the late Divine Justinia V. The Chantry, at its best, unites the disparate cultures of Thedas and looks after its most vulnerable. Had she lived, Justinia could have accomplished so much.
Aww.
You are aware that the Chantry hasn't sanctioned this Inquisition.
The Chantry is leaderless. They're in no position to officially sanction anything. Besides, my dear, if there is one virtue the Chant of Light teaches us, it is forgiveness. Once the Inquisition has sealed the breach, I'm sure the new Divine will not care in the slightest about official permission.
Well, I do like you. Oh, let's be flirtatious.
Is your interest in the Inquisition Madame de Fer, or is it more personal?
Aren't you charming? It's professional, of course.
Welcome aboard.
The Inquisition will be happy to have you, Lady Vivienne.
Great things are beginning, my dear. I can promise you that.
Nice. I approve. I like her. She's got spirit. Let's see. Vivienne. Let's see. What are you? What have you? I can do whatever I want. Nice. Let's see what we have here then. Wind's Grasp, we know what that is. You let invisible waves of magic carry you forward, blowing ahead a short distance. It's basically a small blink of sorts. So if we stand still, extra mana. Berry explodes. Master calling of cold, increasing effect on chilling of freezing target. Wall of ice. Ice mine. Ice armor. Blizzard, ice storm. Flash fire. Immolate. Next spell cost doesn't trigger a cooldown period when you crit. Summoning fire increases the effect of panicking or burning enemies. Fire mine, chaotic focus. Clean burn, spells burn away aim magic, also doing casting. Full of fire. Chain lightning. Does what it says on a 10. Energy barrage. Basically homing missiles. Lightning bolts, the paralyzes. Storming constantly calling it. Lightning will periodically strike nearby enemies. Gathering storm. Each basic attack shortens the active cooldown times. The more magical energy you spend, the more damage your spells do. Static charge, sheaths of the lightning when casting spells. Trap enemies inside an electronic field that paralyzes those that try to leave. Frost is such a nice crowd control. Shush phone. do want that for the crowd control, but I'm not sure. I might be wanting to take other let's do that. Let's do a fire and ice thing. Because it's nice to have some sort of what's the word I'm looking for?
Yes.
I have some more questions.
Why am I not surprised?
Tell me about your brother.
I would prefer not to speak of Anthony. Another time, perhaps.
I'll let you get back to work.
Well, I guess you don't want to speak with me. Just Vivienne is up there. Okay. She's in the chantry then, I guess.
Have you seen Enchanter Vivienne? That's the picture of what a circle mage should be.
She looks like a noble. It's arrogant.
It is not arrogant to be unafraid.
Well, she does have some charisma, that's for sure.
All men are the work of our Maker's hands. From the lowest
I met an elven mage earlier. Solus, I believe he was called. I admit I was surprised. I didn't expect to find mages among the Inquisition. Tell me, why were you at the Divine Conclave?
Well, this chaos harms everyone. That's what I should say.
The war benefits no one. It must end, and order must be restored.
If only the rebels saw things so clearly. Justinia's death has shattered the balance of power in Thedas. If it is not restored quickly, countless lives will be lost. Mages, Templars, innocent people of all kinds now look to the Inquisition to decide their fate.
That's why you wanted to be here. To have a hand in deciding that fate.
Wouldn't you? For almost 1,000 years, the world believed it was in the hands of the Maker. And now many believe you are the agent of his will. Whatever the truth is, that belief gives you power.
No one should have that power, but...
If that's true, then I'll put it to good use.
I suppose we'll see. I've stolen enough of your time, my dear. Don't let me keep you. Yes?
Tell me about the circle. I want to know more.
I wanted to ask you about the Circle of Magi.
Of course. What do you wish to know?
What was it like to live in a circle?
My dear, your question is the root of all problems with mages. I cannot tell you. Every circle was different. Their Templars were different, their politics unique. And every person within each tower had an experience of circle life unique to themselves. Some people suffered and some were content. Some were cruel, some compassionate, and some indifferent. The same is true of people everywhere, in all circumstances, whether they are mages or not.
So tell me about your personal experience with the Circle.
I enjoyed life in the Montsimard Circle, my dear. It was an edifice devoted to knowledge and refinement. And mages need the company of other mages. No one else can truly understand the challenges we face, nor see the world as we do.
You must have been under constant supervision, being forced by Templars to live in the tower. Was that hard to endure?
My dear, I have a suite in the palace and a wing at my dear Duke Bastien's estate. I've never been forced to live anywhere. Most circles allowed mages to live away from the tower, either on their own or in service to the nobility. All that was required was permission from the first enchanter. Some circles were harsher in their restrictions. Kirkwall was the worst, but it was the exception. Most were quite permissive. Perhaps too permissive, in retrospect.
If the Circle disbanded, how can you still belong to it?
The Circle is an idea, my dear, and an idea cannot be dissolved. Many of the first enchanters voted for rebellion, caring little that anything short of a unanimous decision would pit mage against mage. Rather than dissolving it, Grand Enchanter Fiona's vote split the Circle in two. The rebels follow her, the loyalists follow me.
How did we come to this state with the Circles in revolt?
A failure of perspective that infected Circle leadership. Mages lived solely in a world of Templars and mages. They could not even imagine what was beyond the tower walls. Kirkwall gave the world a reason to remember its fear of magic. A mage killed hundreds with a snap of their fingers. Across Thedas, a new tangible fear of magic grew. Commoners and nobles alike called out to the Chantry for protection. But the malcontents in the towers thought nothing of this. They cared only for themselves and for their anger at the new Templar restrictions. When a mage attempted to assassinate Divine Justinia, again, the mages protested the investigation. The leadership chose to vote on independence based on the intolerable conditions imposed by the Templars, sparing no thought to the fact that magic was more feared in the aftermath of these attacks than it had been since Tevinter's day. So long as they had their freedom, they could care little for riots, angry mobs, or about pitting mages against each other.
Are you familiar with Grand Enchanter Fiona?
We've met. Before her horrendously ill-timed and selfish vote for independence, I thought her adequate at her job. In her dotage, she could not handle looking after the well-being of so many people. We would have done better to replace her years ago, to let her spend time gardening.
Did they have cause to rebel?
In the aftermath of their terrorist attacks? Was that really the most opportune time to break away? By all means protest abuses by the Templars. Just don't do it in a way that says mages support wholesale murder. By voting when they did, my colleagues all but declared war upon the ordinary people of Thedas. A war in which we are outnumbered 100 to 1.
Well, that is kind of shit.
I thought the fighting was only between mages and Templars. Why are mages fighting mages?
The vote for independence was carried by only a small margin, but Fiona chose to let the motion stand. Those who opposed a rash declaration of war against the entire free world had little choice. By breaking from the Chantry when they did, the rebels declared themselves in support of mass murder. Anyone who did not wish to support terrorism and the slaughter of innocents was forced to take arms against the rebels. Yes?
I'd like to know more about you, Madame Vivienne.
Whatever would you like to know?
Your accent's not Orlesian. Where exactly are you from?
I am from the Circle, my dear. One's country of origin rarely matters there. But if you must know, I was born in Wycombe in the Free Marches. I was sent to the Ostwick Circle, but I transferred to Monsignor while still an apprentice.
I'm curious how a Circle mage winds up a courtier.
Nobody winds up at court, my dear. It takes a great deal of effort to arrive there. I caught the eye of Duke Bastien de Ghislaine, an advantageous connection that opened many doors. When the position of Enchanter to the Imperial Court became vacant, I was able to secure it.
You're married to the Duke de Ghislaine?
Of course not, my dear. Don't be ridiculous. Marriage is the business of alliance and inheritance. I'm Bastien's mistress.
And what does the Duchess de Ghislaine think of this arrangement?
We got along quite well. Duchess Nicoline and I used to host musical salons together. She was a great patron of the arts. She passed away from a fever a few years ago, the poor dear.
Aww. Well, I do like her, but I'm not gonna flirt anymore with her because I don't think... Nah. Nah.
Thank you for all that